Tron's giving. It was a magical time back in November of 2018. Me, Justin's son, a turkey, and a Tron cycle. Don't believe me? Take a look.
Tell you the story of the first Tron's giving? Well, I'd be happy to. Well, you see, it all started back in 2017. Been watched in anticipation for a huge announcement from Justin's son during a live stream. However, while the live stream was happening, the price plummeted and never recovered. For many months, Tron had become the butt of almost all of BitBoy's jokes. The Bit Squad laughed and laughed at these hilarious antics, and if I do say so myself, they were hysterical. For months, BitBoy had secretly been studying Tron and looking through the clutter, hype, and FUD to try to discover the truth. The truth became clear that while Tron has a long way to go, it may actually be on the right track. On the first annual Tron's giving, BitBoy finally decided to stop making fun of Tron and make an investment into it. He of course told all of the Bit Squad this was not financial advice, as was customary in those days. From that point forward, the Bit Squad and Tronians lived in peace and prosperity.
Okay, so there were some happy times between Tron and myself earlier in crypto. There were a lot of years in the middle where I wasn't so fond of Tron. But I have to admit, it's grown on me again a little bit because of its huge role in stablecoins. Find out how much that matters for the narrative of Tron. You watch this video all the way until the very end. I'm going to give you Tron's best path forward for success. Let's get it. I'm not a financial advisor. Welcome to Armstrong Crypto X. Don't just trade crypto, experience it. Start your crypto journey off right by hitting that subscribe button and joining Ben Nation. Today, we're going to talk about Tron, a controversial project that's silently become the most popular blockchain network in the world for sending stablecoins. Tron has the ticker TRX and is listed at number 13 in the global ranking of top crypto assets. Tron's market cap is almost $11 billion, and it had a previous all-time high of 23 cents. Tron had a massive bull run in 2018 and was one of the top projects for that year, rising from a tenth of a cent all the way to 23 cents at its top in January 2018. However, Tron has struggled to recapture the speculative hype that it had when it first launched. During the last cycle, Tron was unable to surpass its previous all-time high and only reached a top of about 15 cents. It seems that this cycle, Tron might be looking a bit stronger. It's already trading at around 12 cents, and the bull market, well, it's just getting started. Tokenomics for Tron are similar to other smart contract platforms that ran ICO in 2018. About 40% of the tokens were sold in the ICO, with about 16% of the tokens going to private investors at a lower price. 34% was set aside to the Tron Foundation to fund the development of the blockchain and management of the business. And then another 10% was sent to Palau Huanlei Co., a company privately owned and controlled by Justin's son, founder of Tron. Justin's son is an early crypto adopter who's become one of the most controversial people in the history of the industry. He's very well known for throwing his money around and making huge acquisitions, whether it's companies or NFTs. He's also known for his extremely aggressive and I think lame marketing tactics, like bidding for multi-million-dollar NFTs or buying a $4 million dinner with Warren Buffett that never happened, but then it did, but anyways. Before founding Tron, he actually started his career in the blockchain industry working as an advisor for Ripple. He eventually launched the ICO for Tron in 2017 and raised $70 million for the project. Stepped down as CEO in 2021 so he could become a diplomat for Grenada at the World Trade Organization. His position as a diplomat only lasted 2 years though, because in March of 2023, he was forced to step down after the SEC charged him with fraud and securities violations for doing undisclosed sponsorships with celebrities like Jake Paul and Lindsay Lohan. Celebrities should always disclose their sponsorships. It's super important, seriously. That's why I always disclose that our channel sponsor is Stake. Stake is the world's largest social casino where you can chat with dealers and people and earn gold coins while you play. Visit the link in the description or scan the QR code on the screen to get your account started with Stake. Fun, games, social, chat, more. Armstrong Crypto X is powered by Stake. Justin's son is no stranger to controversy. Drama seems to follow him everywhere he goes, and it's been like that ever since the release of Tron's white paper. Shortly after the white paper was published, people started to notice that parts seemed almost identical to the documentation from competing projects. It was eventually discovered that large portions of Tron's white paper were plagiarized from Filecoin, IPFS, and Ethereum. In fact, direct parts of the code were copied from Ethereum. It's technically allowed since Ethereum's open source, but you aren't supposed to just copy the code and act like you made something new. You're expected to actually give credit to the other programmers that you took code from. All of these accusations are denied by Justin Sun, but they're right out there in the open for everyone to see, so everybody can decide for themselves. When it comes to the architecture of Tron, it's very similar to Ethereum, except for a few key differences. Tron is a delegated proof of stake, or DPoS, instead of proof of stake, or PoS, and it's also much more centralized. Everyone in the system who is staking delegates to a node called a super representative. This type of setup isn't a problem if you have a lot of super representatives. But in the Tron network, there are only 27. It means there are only 27 validators in the entire system. Compare this with thousands for Solana or tens of thousands for Ethereum and Bitcoin. The fewer nodes there are, the more centralized the system is. But there are legitimate reasons for projects choosing to go with fewer nodes. First, it gives them more control over the blockchain, which is actually a good thing from the perspective of corporations and institutions who aren't comfortable with open networks. Networks with fewer nodes are also usually faster and cheaper. This is because there is a cost to decentralization, at least now while the technology is so young. When you have a blockchain with thousands of nodes, all of those nodes have to verify the transaction, which is more work on the system. So it ends up taking a bit longer and costing more money. If you need a high level of security, then you're going to be willing to wait a bit longer and pay a bit more. But if you're just playing with small amounts of money in a game or social media application, you probably won't be that worried about security and centralization. The fact that there's tens of billions of dollars in Tether on a network with only 27 nodes is a little bit scary though. An investigation a few years back showed that one computer could have taken down the entire Tron network. The main problem here is that since there were only a few nodes, it would be very easy for an attacker to compromise more than 51% of the validators. Now, I'm not really sure how much they've improved things since then, considering they still have a very small number of nodes. Even though Tron gets a lot of hate because of its history and centralization concerns, it's actually one of the most active blockchains in the world. It doesn't have much of an ecosystem though, that's a downside. It's used for mostly gaming and gambling apps, but that's not what's driving the success of the blockchain. Tron has become so successful because it's become the most popular blockchain to transfer Tether, or USDT, the world's largest stablecoin. It's a lot cheaper to send money on Tron, and most exchanges support Tron transactions because the network has been around so long. Most people don't really think about decentralization, so when they see the drop-down menu on their exchange account, which gives them an option of choosing which network to send their Tether on, people will usually just pick the cheapest option and click send. That cheapest option is always Tron, and that's why over $40 billion of Tether was circulating on the Tron blockchain last year. You know where else you can find a lot of Tether circulating? Wow, you guessed it. Our official exchange sponsors, Phemex. Great job. Click the Phemex link in the description or scan the QR code on the screen. Then don't forget to grab your Palau e-residency program card so you can KYC when it comes in the mail. Now you can trade with peace of mind, just like I do. If it wasn't for Tether, I think that Tron would mostly be forgotten by now. But this one asset has carried Tron and kept it in the top of the rankings for years now. There's more to the Tron ecosystem than just Tether, but nothing that's really attracting users. Justin Sun has made a ton of acquisitions over the years, but they've all been flops. He purchased the rights to BitTorrent, which was a service we used back in the day to get free music and movies. At the time he bought the name, there was an opportunity to do something big with it. Streaming services were just starting to get big, and he could have leveraged the brand recognition and the hype of the moment to launch a streaming service that could compete with Spotify or Netflix. That opportunity passed though. Nobody really remembers the BitTorrent brand anymore, and there are already Web3 competitors that are pretty far along with their own streaming apps. He also purchased Steemit, an early crypto social media platform, paid content creators for popular posts. But the community rejected the acquisition and forked the blockchain, creating their own social network called Hive, where Justin Sun's tokens didn't exist. Hive became the most popular version of the platform, and Sun's investment became effectively worthless overnight. That wasn't enough, he also purchased the crypto exchange Poloniex, which declined in popularity shortly after. Now it has very little usage at all. As far as building on the Tron blockchain goes, it has all the necessary infrastructure applications that you would expect, like decentralized exchanges and lending platforms. Most of them are specific to Tron though and can be found on other networks. A few examples are the decentralized exchange Sun or the lending platform Just Lend. These applications keep the Tron system running. There aren't any apps that have people flocking to Tron. Tron has managed to carve out a very serious and respectable place for itself in the crypto industry, even though it was really never taken seriously. But the truth is there were actually a lot of very good reasons to doubt Tron, and there still are. But the markets have proven many of the experts wrong, because it's obviously a successful network, and a lot of us OGs need to readjust to that reality. But here's the thing for Tron. Same thing I've said for Gavin Wood for Polkadot. Get rid of Justin Sun and the project may flourish. You see, so many people hate Justin Sun and think he's a scammer that the project has a cloud hanging over it. Now, I can get into all the reasons why people just can't stand Justin Sun, but that's a different video for a different day. Justin Sun already tried stepping out of the project's limelight when he became a diplomat for Grenada, but that's over now. Now it's time for Justin to complete the transition and step away from trying to do something else. If that were to happen, Tron could be a top layer 1 competitor. Tell me your thoughts on Tron down below in the comments. Also guys, hit that like button on your way out. It helps us keep the lights on. Be blessed.